Something you got, baby. You make me work on.
Hey everybody, this is Diana again, and I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about the blog post that I posted a few days ago, and that was titled Why a Tough Customer is Your Best Customer. And I know this is like a really tough idea to really believe in because the tough customers are the ones that are usually the most challenging, the ones that really try our patience, and so they can be, again, that's why they're tough, because they're not just going along with the flow of things. They may be tough to satisfy. So again, I wanted to give you guys a few tips to help you out when you do encounter your tough customers, and how to turn them into your best customers, because trust me, I've been there firsthand. It can be done. So the first tip that I gave on the post was to know basic personality types. And these personality types, that everybody works differently. They all respond differently to different things, etc. So understanding basic personality types, and I went over some of the basic ones, would really give you an understanding of what type of behaviors does this customer typically display. So this is going to help you out, because if you take the time to know and understand your customers, then you're going to be that much more successful in keeping them happy, or making things right for them. So then the second tip that I gave was called nip it in the bud. So NIP stands for nothing is personal. So always remember that the customer is upset at the situation, not at you personally. It doesn't say anything about you as a human being. It's just that they're upset about a situation, or they're feeling challenged, etc. So the third one that I gave was engage your best listening skills. And it's really important to develop this skill, because a lot of times we overestimate how good we listen to people, and a lot of times what we're doing is we're just waiting to respond. We're waiting for our turn to talk, instead of really focusing on the person and really engaging empathetic feelings and compassion towards seeing their point of view of things. And that's very important, because people ultimately want to be heard. They want to know that they have been understood and that their feelings are being validated. So that's a really important one. I do have an emotional intelligence course that I am working on. So I'm going to really highly recommend that you guys take that course, because these are some of the skills that we're going to go more in depth with. And again, it's just going to help you show up for your customers, and for other relationships at work, but specifically we're talking about customers today. It's going to really help you show up in a genuine, caring, and an excellence every single day. This one that I shared was solution and action. So when you are troubleshooting with your customer, offer them a solution, something that you can do, something that is acceptable within the guidelines of your company, and also actually do it. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to do this, and then you don't follow through with it. So it's very important that they feel like their problem was actually solved. If it wasn't by you, you need to follow up with whoever it was that helped them actually make that happen, so that you know that it really did happen for the person. And the last one is follow up. And we really, really, a lot of times underestimate the power of following up with our customers. You're like, oh, okay, well, the problem got solved and I'll never hear about this person again. Thank goodness. You know, a good company, a really solid company, the difference between a mediocre company and those ones that really stand out for people is follow-ups. If you follow up within the next day or two, or maybe a week, depending on what is appropriate for your area, then for your industry, then they will appreciate and they will feel like they were really cared for. and that this was a genuine transaction. They're not going to feel like just another number. They're really going to feel like an individual because you took the time to follow up with them and say, hey, Mrs. or Mr. So and so, how did everything turn out? I hope that your issue was resolved, or how did I perform? How did I do? Where was I able to give you excellent customer service? I know you were upset, but were we able to make it right? So all of those things, if you employ these, it's gonna make that much of a difference for you and your company. So today I wanted to share one more tip, and I wanted to expand on this customer service blog post. So this is called the 7-Eleven rule. And what we're talking about here is that you're going to employ the power of the 7-Eleven rule in order to provide excellent customer service. And that is also going to help you with winning over or lowering the odds of a tough customer being upset or being in a worse mood when they walk into your establishment. What is the 7-Eleven rule? The 7-Eleven rule is the idea that in just 7 seconds, most customers will form an average of 11 impressions about you and your establishment. So it's that first impression really counts idea. So that's why it's 7-Eleven. You have 7 seconds to make 11 impressions on your client. So the first one that we're going to talk about is cleanliness. Is your establishment clean? Does it look organized? Does it look nice and spacious? There's no trash laying around visibly? Also, your employees, do they look clean? Have they showered? They're not smelly, etc. All of those things that have to do with personal hygiene and the hygiene of the establishment are extremely important for clients. Then the second one is it attractive? Attractive has to do with like decorations. Is it nice and bright? Is it an open space? Even if it's small, you don't want it to be cramped up and full of things that small, because you have so much clutter. You want it to be very open, very bright, a lot of natural light if possible. If there is no natural light, try to have some LED lights that do mimic natural light. And so all of those things, the decoration, and it's not dated, it's not old looking decorations, and people really respond well to that. Also, is there some kind of plants? Is there house plants or indoor plants where they see like, oh, there's a little bit of greenery in here? That's very nice. The third one is credibility. Does your establishment look like it's a trustworthy place, or does it look kind of sketchy? What about your Yelp reviews? Make sure you're looking at things like that, because clients do look at those things, and if you have a bunch of bad Yelp reviews, then they might not even come in, or they might come in expecting bad service if there's a lot of negative reviews on there. So make sure you're kind of up to date with that, and make sure that you're trying to do the best so that you are presenting your company and yourself in the best light. Number 4 is going to be, are you knowledgeable? Knowledgeable is, do you know what you're talking about? When a client comes in, are you able to help them and answer their questions, or are you constantly saying, oh, I don't really know, oh, that's not my department, I have no idea, and then offer no further help? If you don't know, then you need to let the client know that you're going to find somebody to help them and answer their question. So going that extra mile instead of just saying, oh, sorry, you're out of luck, I have no idea. So making sure that you are knowledgeable so that they do gain that trust, that you gain that trust from the clients, and they see you as a leader in that area. Number 5 is going to be responsive. This is about when they're asking you a question, are you able to do something about the question or do something about the situation, instead of, again, just ignoring them or leaving them with unanswered questions. And again, even if you don't have the answers, offer to find someone who will help them. And, or, if there's nobody there at that moment, say, let me get your information down, and I will find the person. I will make sure somebody follows up with you and gives you that information because I don't have it at the moment, or and anything along those lines. Being responsive. If they inquire with you, are you really taking the time to respond to that? Number 6 is going to be friendly. Are you greeting people with a smile on your face, with a positive attitude, or are you greeting people with a sad look on your face, like you don't even want to be at work? And that's so important, because I know a lot of times I've walked into stores and the people look so miserable, and it makes me not even want to go back, because we all have our own challenges at home. You don't want to go somewhere where you're spending your hard-earned money, and look at people who look really, really sad, or look like they hate working there. I don't want to feel like I'm an inconvenience for them. I want to feel like, hey, they appreciate my business. So that's super important with your employees, or if you are an employee, to always have a positive attitude. And I know it's hard to maintain, but again, in the emotional intelligence course, we're going to talk about how to improve the way we look at things and how we show up at work. Number 7 is going to be, are you helpful? And being helpful is a little bit like being responsive. Being helpful is, even though it may not be your job, are you going out of your way to try and solve this problem for the client? Are you, trying to make it right for the client with whatever is within your power to do so? And again, this is such a huge one for people, because they see if you are willing to go the extra mile for them. Customer service is one of the most, probably if not the most important part of running a business. And you have to remember that you do have a job or you have a business because of your customers. So number 8 is going to be understanding. Being understanding is being empathetic, having compassion for the person, for your client. Again, if something goes wrong, or if they're going through a tough time and you know that they are, use your empathy, use your compassion in order to really make a connection with that client, because that's going to make all the difference for them. If they're upset or they feel like something, their order was wrong, and you know that it wasn't wrong, that it was what they had ordered, and it was the order was filled as they requested, don't point it out to them. Don't say, you know what, you're wrong, and I can't help you. Use your empathy and understand that we've all been there. We've all made a mistake. So say, I think there must have been some kind of mistake, and I understand I've been there before, so let me see how I can make this right for you. That's going to make all the difference as well. So number 9 is going to be courteous. That's so important too. That for me, courteous goes right along with being friendly. Being courteous is are you using the words please, thank you, excuse me? Using your manners that maybe, hopefully, most of us learned growing up. but a lot of times we forget in these tough situations or in these high speed transactions that we're doing, because a lot of times we're pressed at work for time, and so we forget. When you're walking into a store or you walk into an establishment and the receptionist is sitting there chewing on her gum on the phone with her boyfriend or something, and you say, "Excuse me, is so and so here?" And they say, "Hold on, excuse me." You're like, that is not the way to greet somebody. You need to say, um, "Please give me a second, I'll be right with you," etc. So being courteous, not just saying, "Oh yeah." Say, "Yes please," or "No please," "Thank you, I appreciate that," etc. Using your best manners is always a good policy. So number 10 is, are you confident? Being confident is extremely important because you give the clients a sense that they can trust you. They want to feel secure and safe when they walk into this establishment, that they want to know that you know what you're talking about, because again, they're spending time or money with your organization, and it's really important for them to feel like you know what you're talking about. Be assertive, walk in a good posture, all of those things that convey to your client that you know what you're talking about and you're there to help them and solve their problems is going to be so huge for you and for your company. So number 11, the last one, is professional. So professionalism, again, it's knowing how to handle situations in the best way that you can, being in control of your emotions, not getting worked up about a situation, always being respectful to your client, to your customer. Especially, again, it's really important to stay professional with those tough customers, because they are the ones that are really going to test your skills. And this is really important because these can really be the people that, if you turn things around for them, they will give you a great recommendation to everyone, because they saw that you took the time to make things right and you turn things around for them. It's so important and so huge. So those are my tips for today for the 7-Eleven rule. Let me know which of these rules you feel is most important, and which ones do you employ with your company or with yourself in order to give good customer service. So I want to thank you guys so much again for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Something you got